Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook. Those here in person as well as those attending virtually. My name is Mike Hoffman, and it's my pleasure to be your worship associate this morning. I will also be serving as one of today's service leaders as part of the Fellowship's Search Committee for a Settled Minister. Unitarian Universalism is a fiercely congregational faith. No bishop tells a congregation who their minister will be. Congregations choose their own ministers, so it's a faithful practice to be an active participant in the process, and the Search Committee is doing the work of our faith. Our Director of Religious Education is Deb Little, and our minister is the Reverend Dr. Madeline Campbell, who will be back in the pulpit next week. For those here in person, to see our order of service, you can scan the QR code on your bulletin right here, or the one posted in the lobby. We also have a few printed copies. For those at home, there's a link to the order of service on our website homepage. We come together from diverse theological perspectives, and our ideals are inclusion, justice, and equity, and a search for truth and meaning as we know it. These aspirations shape everything we do. I want to welcome those here in the sanctuary, as well as those attending virtually. We are one congregation, no matter how we are participating together today. Please plan to join us after the service for coffee and conversation here in the Fellowship Building. For those of you who are online, if you sign off after the service and return to our website, you'll find the link to join the small group chat where you can get to know some of us better and ask any questions that you may have. Now let us enter into the sacred space of worship with the sounding of the morning bell. Please remain. Never mind. I have asked Peter DeSalvo to light our chalice this morning while I say these words by our own Elise Nichols Powell. Sometimes we have to improvise. We light this chalice to set our course, to illuminate our vision, and to enlarge our sense of purpose. Thank you, Donna. Our opening reading is by Khalil Gibran, titled, "The River Cannot Go Back." It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled, from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear. Because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but becoming the ocean.
Good morning, beloveds. It's clearly one of those mornings. We have the children to thank, specifically Nicolette, for me having at least half a brain cell this morning, because Nicolette came up and said, aren't there supposed to be toys on the Blue Rock? Thank you, Nicolette. So, yes, okay. So, today's story is about fear of change, which I hear there's been a little anxiety among us about that. So that is called... Wait, don't read that title! The Pigeon Has to Go to School by Mo Willems. Humph. Too late. Why do I have to go to school? I already know everything. Go on, ask me a question. Any question. Well, I know almost everything. Does school start in the morning? Because you know what I'm like in the morning. It's not pretty. What if I don't like school? I wish I was a little chick again. A little itty-bitty not going to school chick again. What if I don't like school? What if I really don't like it? What if I really, really don't like it? What if... what if the teacher doesn't like pigeons? And the stuff. What about all the stuff? There's so much stuff to learn. What if I learn too much? My head might pop off. I'm scared. What will happen at school? What if there's math or numbers? Why does the alphabet have so many letters? What about lunch? What will the other birds think of me? Will finger paint stick to my feathers? What's up with those heavy backpacks? I'm a fragile bird. The unknown stresses me out. There should be a place to practice those things with experts to help you, and books, and classrooms, and other birds to work and play with, maybe a playground. Oh, that is school. Amen. I invite, let me turn my glasses so I can see your beautiful faces a little better. Okay. I invite our children and junior high youth to go back. Let's see, Amy, could you stand up? Oh, there's Amy. So our kindergarten through fifth grade children go back with Amy. The tiny tots go back with their moms to the green room, and the junior high youth go back with Wendy and Shelley. And I invite you all to sing along to the Reeb Children's Benediction, which is at the very end of each hymnal.
In today's service, we will be walking you through the process we have already begun to undertake in order to find a new minister for our congregation. As this is prescribed by the UUA, the UU Association Transitions Team, in its 119-page settlement handbook. Elise has a copy of the handbook here today if you would like to take a look after the service. While we are sharing a lot of information, it's important to note that this is overall a very spiritual endeavor to identify our spiritual leader for years to come. The first major step in this search process took place on January 18th when, at a congregational meeting, you elected the 7 members of the team. These are Cassandra Allison, Maite Alsugare, Claudia Jacobs-Dunmeyer, Jamie Melliker, Elise Nichols-Powell, Colleen Rudman, and myself. At that time, you voted to entrust us to conduct the search on your behalf. On that same day, we had our first meeting to begin this extensive process. This work is already well underway. We have met to organize ourselves to undertake the many tasks involved in getting us from here to there. We've attended training sessions, and we've been digging into the considerable work that is needed. You're going to hear from most of our team members who will explain what is involved in each step of the process and the progress we have already made. It is important for us to talk about confidentiality. While we intend to keep you informed as much as possible as we go forward, there are parts of this process that are necessarily confidential. It is our duty to protect the identities of individuals who may be candidates for the position of settled minister. We will observe confidentiality of the candidates as required by the search process, yet simultaneously, we also wish to stress the principle of openness. We aim for open, bi-directional communication between us, the search committee, and the fellowship. This search is one example of communication from us, or this service is one example of communication from us, and following this service, in coming weeks, via a structured survey, focus groups, or cottage meetings, we will hear your thoughts on our congregational challenges, priorities, and needs, and what you look for in a new minister. Between January and March, you will not be hearing much from us, but please understand that we will be busy doing the work of screening, interviewing, learning about, and observing individuals identified by the UUA as a possible match for our fellowship. We'll ask that during this time you respect our process and refrain from asking us questions about any potential candidates. I now invite you to rise in body or spirit as we sing hymn number 318, We Would Be One.
Good morning. Communication is a spiritual exercise. Communication provides clarity, inclusion, satisfaction, and also relief even when there is discomfort. The need to communicate causes us each to hear not just with our ears and cerebral ability, but with our experiences, our spirits, our hearts, and our souls. With communication comes comprehension, compassion, and constructive appreciation. Communication is a spiritual exercise. Our intention here is to choose a settled minister. As some of you may have heard me say, this task is not a matter of collecting a list of, say, 25 unemployed ministers and to pick one. This is not a we, meaning the committee, they, meaning you, the congregation, situation. It's a we situation, meaning you, the congregation, and us. It's an all of us situation. We are all connected. We are all the congregation. We all are the us. Communication is a spiritual exercise. Communication is a spiritual exercise. With this in mind, the UUA has meticulously outlined a mandatory procedure for this search designed to include the opinions and preferences of each and every member of our congregation. Along with the congregational survey, there will be both cottage meetings and focus groups during which you will be able to communicate everything. Everything you will be communicating to us is important and will be taken into consideration. Communication is a sacred, spiritual exercise.
You got it?
As you already know, since September 10th, we've been asking you to fill out the congregational survey. The survey is a great opportunity not only to collect information about our congregation to be presented to potential ministerial candidates, but also for our search committee to learn about what's important to our members. The survey is a real opportunity for our congregation to define its future with a new minister. Your responses are completely anonymous. We are encouraging you to fill out the survey online so it is easier for us to collect, summarize, and analyze your responses. If you cannot fill out the survey online, please ask Elise or myself after the service for a printed copy. The survey is at the top of the ministerial search page that can be found at uufsb.org by clicking About Us. The survey must be completed online by September 30th. Some of you who requested the newsletter be sent by snail mail received a hard copy of the survey in the mail. Please complete it and mail it to the office or bring it to our service, to our October 1st service. We need feedback from a minimum of 60% of our congregation. The survey results will be compiled and the results will be shared with the congregation. The survey will become part of the documents packet the search committee prepares for the search. Cassandra Allison is our congregational record coordinator. She is not here today, but Mike will tell you more about that after our meditations.
Based on the summary of results from the congregational survey, we will develop a few key questions and bring these for discussion to small groups of congregants. The so-called cottage meetings are really just that, small group meetings open to up to 12 people per meeting at a facilitator-led group discussion. These meetings will provide an opportunity for people to hear and build on what others say regarding thoughts about our congregational culture and the minister's role in this culture, as well as other expectations for a new settled minister. We encourage folks to sign up using the online link, which will be posted in our communications for the next 3 weeks, starting with the October newsletter coming out this Thursday. You will also be able to access the sign-up sheet from our website. Again, just go to About Us and select Ministerial Search. For those who need them, we will have sign-up sheets at the back of the sanctuary that you can use the next 2 Sundays. In addition, we are holding several focus groups. These are facilitated conversations with groups of UUFSB members who have something in common, like a similar age, similar parental responsibilities, or a common committee or task force they all serve in. After all these meetings are held, we will prepare a short summary report. This report will be included in our congregational documents package, which Mike is going to speak about later.
So we realize there's a lot of information, but we feel it's really important for you to get a sense of the whole process from now until when we actually bring a new minister to you for consideration. So it is our spiritual practice to experience meditation in 3 forms. We'll begin with words by Elise Nichols Powell. We will then have 1 minute of silence, and we will come out of the silence with hymn number 123 in the gray hymnal, Spirit of Life. If you don't know it, you may wish to open to that page now. Elise?
Hopefully, within about a year, we will have a new minister with familiar wisdom and new wisdom. We'll be turning over new leaves, but finding familiar veins, colors, scalloped edges with new additions of color, shading, shape variations, and length. New doesn't mean strange, improper, or vapid. New means the future. A beginning, but not an isolated one, because every future is built upon and attached to the past in events, feelings, concepts, and needs. Our new minister must guide us in remembering and honoring our varied holy causes: social, political, environmental, spiritual, racial, etc. These are outlined by our original 7 principles, and they now include our vital and powerful 8th principle. This congregation is developing, expanding, and merging. We will not be totally what we were before. We are developing, making choices that promote our growth. A proverb from Ghana states, "It is the human being that counts. I call gold, it does not answer. I call cloth, it does not answer. It is the human being that counts." And here we are.
Since we didn't a little earlier, I'm going to ask that we take a minute now as our meditation, and then we'll continue our reflections. Amen. So I want to mention Breaking Barriers, Building Beliefs. This is a workshop focusing on biases about identities. This workshop will be held on November 4th and is open to the whole congregation. Look for news about this training in an upcoming news feed. So the next step of the search process is to take all the information that we have gathered about our fellowship through the congregational survey, small group meetings, and other research, and put it together to be presented to potential ministerial candidates. To do this, we create what is called the Congregational Record and Documents Package. The Congregational Record is a series of questions that was created by the UUA Transitions Office. It asks about the details of the position we are offering, such as compensation, benefits, and what our congregation expects from the minister. It also asks for details about our congregation, such as our history, traditions, congregational life, and the programs we offer. It asks about our building, our financial history, the history of our ministers, and the demographics of our congregation and surrounding area. Pretty much everything there is to know about us. In addition to these questions, we will also create a collection of documents known as the Documents Package. It will include the proposed contract, full results of the congregational survey, and summaries of the cottage meetings and focus groups. Also, 5 years worth of budgets, the minutes of several congregational meetings, our bylaws, policies, sample newsletters, and much, much more. An important note to make is that the Transitions Office really stresses that all of this is not an exercise in putting our best foot forward. Instead, it is a chance to paint an honest picture of our fellowship, both its strengths and its struggles. So all this information will be put together through October and November, approved by the Transitions Office, and then published in the UUA's Ministry Search System, online by the beginning of December. Potential candidates can then view our information in addition to information about other congregations that are searching for ministers. They can then choose which congregations they would like to apply to. The hope is, of course, that we will get many promising applications to consider. However, you should be aware that the number of applying ministers has decreased significantly over the past several years. We should be prepared for the possibility that the number of applications we receive might be limited. We'll describe the next steps of this process following the hymn. So please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 121, We'll Build a Land.
Good morning. So the next phase of our search process begins in January when the search committee will review the candidates who apply to be our minister. Claudia and I will be leading the coordination of these activities. During the second half of January, the search committee will hold Zoom interviews with potential finalists and then invite up to 3 finalists to meet with the search committee during what is referred to as pre-candidating weekends. These occur in February and March. According to our UUA settlement handbook, these pre-candidating weekends are to remain confidential to protect the candidate's privacy during their search process. Although we were surprised when we first learned this, we understand its importance. Each finalist will meet with the search committee and lead a service at a neutral pulpit site. Again, to maintain confidentiality, the finalist is not to meet with anyone else affiliated with UUFSB. Following these weekend visits, we will decide whether each candidate is a yes, maybe, or no for moving forward, and we will rank the candidates and submit our ranking to the UUA Transitions Office, typically by early April. Minister candidates will also rank their top choices at the same time. The UUA Transitions Office will then tell us where things stand, with options ranging from you will be happy when you reach out to your first option, or it looks like your first option is thinking elsewhere, but your next option is available. Are you still good with this option? Or none of your yeses are going to work out. Let's talk about who's on your maybe list. Give you a day or so to ruminate about this. Or nothing is going to work out. Let's talk about continuing the search. During this time, the search committee will respect the confidentiality of the process as we are instructed to do. We therefore will not be sharing where the minister was ranked so that we don't color anyone's opinion about the potential minister to be.
I'm Claudia. I forgot my name tag. I am a hopeful person. I believe in change. I'm gonna keep on trying to change. I am an angry person. I believe in peace. I'm gonna keep on trying for peace. I am a peaceful person. I believe in love, and I'm gonna keep on trying to love. Yeah, I am a hopeful person. I believe in change. Assuming there is a match between the search committee and a minister, we will move forward with candidating week. The search committee will present only one candidate to the congregation. This is the opportunity for the congregation to meet with the final candidate. This candidate will lead services at our congregation 2 Sundays in a row. Typically, this takes place in late April, early May. The fellowship will then have an opportunity to vote on that candidate during a congregational meeting on the 2nd Sunday of candidating week. A vote to approve the candidate as our minister requires at least a 90% yes vote. Most ministers see at least 90% as a successful call and will not agree to go with less. Some even want a 95% yes vote. While it is possible that we can go back to the pool of candidates if the fellowship does not endorse the candidate, more than likely it will result in an incomplete search for this calendar year, and the process will begin again the following year. For this reason, we want to emphasize that the goal is not to find the perfect minister. Similarly, no good minister expects a perfect congregation. During candidating week, members are voting on whether the congregation is willing to move into a shared ministry partnership with the candidate whom the search committee identified as a good match for the congregation needs, and what is best for the whole congregation. Members are not voting on whether individuals think based on 2 sermons that every sermon the candidate preaches will or will not speak perfectly to the hearts and minds of every single member every single time. You are not voting on whether or not there might be a better match out there somewhere. You are not voting on whether the candidate is the perfect minister. Ministers come with different skills in worship arts, pastoral care, administrative organizational work, and social witness presence. No minister will have a high level of skill or interest in all of these elements of the ministry. The shared ministry of the congregation will and should shift with the skills and interests of the new minister. It is not about what is best for a particular individual within the congregation. We pledge to you, my compadres and I, that we will only invite someone to candidating week who we feel could be a strong leader of this fellowship. In turn, what we ask of you is that you trust that we are bringing the best candidate who mutually agreed to interview with the fellowship. During candidating week, we are all in this together, attempting to discern whether or not the finalist is a good fit for leading our fellowship forward in the years ahead.
It's always nice to be called a compadre. And it really is my pleasure and honor to be working with this group we call our search committee. We engage in the work of love and justice making by sharing our Sunday collection plate with an organization that is doing the good work. For this month, the social justice recipients portion of our shared plate will be donated to Planned Parenthood Hudson Peconic. In these times when reproductive justice is being severely challenged by the repeal of Roe v. Wade and many states are banning abortion access, Planned Parenthood Hudson Peconic continues to provide much-needed health care services such as birth control, sexually transmitted infection testing, prenatal care, and gender-affirming hormone care. They offer reproductive health education that is comprehensive, medically accurate, and age-appropriate. In giving to Planned Parenthood Hudson Peconic, we support their good work in our local communities. Please give generously. The board members will now collect the offering. Thank you, Donna. I asked Donna to play Mozart for us today, and doing it just beautifully. To the work of our faith, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. Amen.
These closing words are by Cynthia Landrum. We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection, our concerns, our care for each other, our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Until we are together again, friends, be strong, be well, be true, be loving.
And now we extinguish our chalice flame, for our worship has ended and our service begins.